Hello, my friends. Thanks for being here. I remembered to invite you this week. Actually, just as an aside before we really get into it, I got an email from Catherine. Hello, Catherine. We love you. She was like, I didn't get the email from last week inviting me to the live stream, but I was able to find it. And I thought, oh, that's so strange. I didn't mess with her subscriptions or anything. And so I looked back and I swear I thought I sent you an email, but I must not have. So here we are all together again. If you are on the email list, I included a link to last week's video in the email. Go ahead and watch that. It was really great. I've actually never referred so many people to watch a live stream before, but it was like everyone I talked to later that day and the next day, I was like, oh my God, you have to go watch that. So go watch it. It is awesome. And hello to today. I'm here with Carrie Roldan, our business BFF, certified intuitive artist. I'm Rachel Archelaus, as you guys know, and I'm just seeing so many lovely messages already. Raniel, hello. It's been a long time. Hey, Zach. Hey, Shayna. Hey, Guillaume. And yes, I did change my channel name from Hello Love to Rachel Archelaus. More details on why will come out, not that it needs to, but that's my name. Hi, Corinne. Today we just wanted to chill and hang out and do some readings for you. Carrie is also intuitive and a certified intuitive artist, like I mentioned. If you are interested in becoming a certified intuitive artist and making some money the creative and fun way, go check out intuitiveart.com. And there's lots of ways to view our certification page from there. And hi, Jane. Hi, Norman. Oh my gosh. Love you guys so much. So
look, when you send the invitation, people show up.
I know, right? Go figure. But there were people there last week too, so I had no idea. So anyway, Carrie, anything you want to open with? What's going on in your life? Anything you want to share?
Well, as long as you asked. So much is going on in my life, you guys. Lots of good. So last week, I don't know. I can't remember what we talk about from one day to the next. And because Rachel and I talk frequently, I can't remember what we said live and what we didn't. So bear with me. But did we on the live last week, we both talk about how we kind of like experienced an up level and some discomfort? Was that on the live?
No, we talked about that in your group, your mastermind group.
So. All right. Well, guys, so I'm spilling the beans on Rachel now. Like both of us have just, as we've been sharing over our journey, like every time we think we're there, we remember there's no there, right? But we are becoming more and more and more present with ourselves. And sometimes that means recognizing what no longer works for us, right? Like things that we had been tolerating or things that we thought just that's the way it has to be. And then suddenly we're like, nope, no more. So I definitely had that happen over the weekend, which was uncomfortable, but good. And one of the things that happened for me is instead of falling back, I became aware in the moment. Here I go again. This is a habit, right? It was a habit of reacting in a way and judging someone else and just like getting into this place of like, oh, here I am in a pattern that I don't love. So I have to choose differently. And I know this, but it was really hard. It was really hard to be different, especially when I'm so goddamn right? Like I'm so right. Why should I have to be different? They're the one that needs to be different. So that happened. But I chose to relax and to go into the truth of me and to, in the moment, access unconditional love, which I remember you did a reading for me the last live. You did my soul portrait. Thank you. But before that, the last time you did a live reading for me, that had come up, like just connect to unconditional love. Just keep connecting to unconditional love, which I've been doing, but not in the way that I had to do it over the weekend, where it was like, I love you, gosh darn it.
But I want to point out too that like our connecting to unconditional love is what allows us to get to that bigger thing. It allows us to get to that annoyance and finally see it dissolve. Like, so yeah, like the bigger picture that Carrie is telling right now for both of us is like doing the alignment work leads to these like crap moments, but then we're actually able to overcome. We're not just dragging it with us around anymore.
I think maybe I shared this on live or maybe I didn't, but I've talked before about when I experience anxiety now, how different it is than when I used to live in constant anxiety. Like recognizing like, oh, it's actually so much more uncomfortable now because it's kind of foreign. And I think now I will have this, as I've up leveled in this one area of my life, is of course what happened is I was feeling uncomfortable. I found myself in an old pattern where I was clearly right and the other person was clearly wrong, right? And then I chose to respond differently than usual. And I really relaxed around it. And I had like a healing moment, right? A moment where I was able to like actually channel. It's easy to channel more of myself when I'm just like sitting in meditation or when I'm right. But like in the moment of discomfort, find access to more of myself. And so that was really beautiful and it was super healing. And it made me, of course, love that other person more and release my judgment. And yeah, like it was a really cool thing that happened out of kind of a lot of discomfort. So but it feels like since then I have experienced such lightness around this person and our interactions, and like something has changed, even though nothing has changed. Everything has changed. So that's been cool. And other than that, I'm just a busy bee this week. I didn't realize that I had booked myself like back to back to back to back almost all week long. But tomorrow I have a little break, and so I'm excited about that.
That's awesome.
How about you, Rachel?
Actually, I had a realization just this morning. So I've been consulting my intuitive art a lot lately about my career, especially. Like I have big dreams and goals, and like it's starting to come together. Like the other people that it would take to get this stuff in, bigger hands is like they're interested, they're asking for things. And for a moment, I felt really overwhelmed by like how many different huge things people were asking of me like at once. And I got some, great feedback from friends and advice and everything, but I keep going back to my intuitive art, which is all about joy. Like the way to grow is through joy. The way to have a successful career is through joy. The way to like have millions, right, is through joy. And I kept asking myself, like, well, I feel fulfilled. I feel satisfied. I feel creative, but I don't really feel joy in this moment. So like, where is my joy? And then a couple days ago, just on a whim, I started making intimate alien TikToks. And it was so much fun. And like, she knew what to do, of course. I didn't have to go in with a plan. And they're freaking adorable. And like, it's just, that's where my joy is with her. My joy is with like, and I consulted her last weekend of like, all right, what do you want? How do you want the book to be? How do you want all this to be? And she told me flat out, she even said like, I want some time to do art. And then yesterday on a call, someone asked Intimate Alien if she would do art for her new company. And I was like, hello, like everything's really coming together. And it's because I was willing to just look at what's right in front of me with my intuitive art and be like, where is that? Where is the joy? And it was there all along. I just wasn't really focusing on it. So I know, Norman, I love you. Carrie, do you get mistaken for Cameron Diaz a lot? Because I've called you, like, I've totally said you look like her too.
Yes. So I wouldn't say I get mistaken for Cameron Diaz, but I get told frequently that I look like her, which I always take as a compliment. So thanks. Especially the older I get. I'm like, I know the older I get, the older she gets, but still, or the older, both. Still, thank you. Joy for you, I think is the same. There were a couple of words that for me would come up a lot, like in readings and stuff, which was fun and play. And I was like, yeah, I don't do that. I don't know how to do that. Play isn't fun for me. Fun isn't play for me. Like, I don't do that. Did we talk about this on the last? I feel like we talked about that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And so same, it's recognizing, what is that for me, right? Can I open up to play? Can I open where, in what, for me, I like to keep my life in boxes, like keep things, I don't know, keep things sort of compartmentalized. And so where, in what compartment does fun and play live? And when I realized like, oh, I do have compartments for that. Then that was cool, because as I was able to allow myself to play in those compartments, guess what? Those compartments expanded, right? Rachel was just telling me, tell everyone what were you telling me right before we went live?
What? I had wet hair? I don't remember.
You were saying, remember when you were afraid of being woo-woo?
Yes. Yeah. When I met Carrie like 6 or 7 years ago, she was like a lot more hesitant about like trusting her intuition and just really like totally diving into this world that we're in right now.
Being someone who would text their daughter, like I did last night, and say, well, I did intuitive check-in and this is what we're going to do. Yeah.
Well, I guess enough about us. Why
Yeah.
don't we get to the group here? And
Wait, I have one more thing about us, because it's a TikTok trend, and it's you were just talking about. So I have the Cameron Diaz doppelganger, and right now there's a TikTok trend to like it's like, who do you most look like? I don't know how to make that work. Like I assume I have to put a photo of Cameron Diaz there somewhere, so it's never going to happen for me. But is there someone, Rachel, that you often get mistaken for or told you look like?
when I was a teenager, people would tell me I looked like Claire Danes because I had the long hair. This was like the Romeo and Juliet era, Claire Danes. And even my so-called life, I was totally grunge.
Yeah.
And too. Now I don't know. Nobody ever tells me anything. Somebody told me somebody once, but I don't remember what her name was. But I did that TikTok thing last night, just up with myself on the couch and my glasses on. And you know who I got?
Who?
James Charles. Hello. I look nothing like James Charles. But I was like, okay, well, I'm fine with it being a man, but like James Charles, come on.
I mean, maybe a little. You're coloring. Your coloring is
Coloring, yeah. I have a long face, but his face is even longer than mine. Anyway.
There you go. All right. So now you guys have our celebrity doppelgangers.
Yeah. If I look like anyone, just tell me. Jane says you're Rachel, and I like that.
You had a moment. So in one of the videos that Rachel did for our aligned income group, there's a moment where you take off a wig, and you reminded me of, I can't think of who it is, but I think it was a scene from a movie. That guy, he had to lose a ton of weight to play a drag queen. You reminded me of him.
Wait, are you talking about Jared Leto?
Yes.
Oh my God. He's like my only celebrity crush.
Okay, well, you are him, so you're welcome.
Well, I do love myself, so I'm totally okay with that. Thank you. Awesome. Judith.
All right, now we can pay attention to you guys in the chat.
Yeah, I don't know who Judith Orloff is, but I'll look her up, Zach. And I just want to highlight what Jane was saying. Jane is also in our aligned income group, and so she saw that video. Basically, I was into mid-alien channeling, and then I took off my wig and I put on the unicorn wig, and I just left the whole thing in because it was very funny. But she had a big realization around all this stuff this morning, which it's really cool. I mean, I feel like we do go through things at the same time. A lot of the times there's trends in this energy. So I think it's helpful to be in groups like this where we can talk about it and acknowledge it, because you don't feel so alone then, you know? Dallas Buyers Club. Yeah, I am aware of that movie, but I haven't seen it. It's about AIDS too, right? And medication or something? Or is that different?
I think that is the one where Jared Leto takes his wig off. I think that is the I think that's what Corinne is telling us.
All right. Well, I'll check it out. I should watch all of his movies. I think he's amazing. I didn't see the Gucci movie though. I probably won't.
I haven't seen it either. I'm not going to lie to you, Rachel. I am Googling Judith Orloff right now.
I've heard of her. But anyway, all right, Carrie will do that. I will get to you. So I want to know who has a question for me that I can do some intuitive art for. Crazy Pup, hello. It's been a while. All right, everyone. So I'm just going to go in order. So whoever has a question first can put it in the chat and I will do a reading for you. It can be personal. It can be about the world, society, whatever you like. And we'll get into it. It's so fun. Did you find Judith Orloff, Carrie?
Yes, I disagree, but he said you look like a young Judith Orloff. So I'm like, if it's the person I'm thinking of, she's got Empath Survival Guide. She looks like she's a spiritual author. Ooh, a very young. There's a book cover where it's Dr. Judith Orloff's Guide to Intuitive Healing. And it's hard to see, but I can kind of see it. Put on a curly wig, Rachel, and we'll.
Yeah. Well, I have that hot pink one in the hall. So, okay, Corinne, is it time to leave my job? So, with intuitive art, Carrie's doing a yes/no for you. Carrie will answer you because it's a yes/no question. I would like to do something a little less yes or no because intuitive art can give us context. So what I'm going to do is what will happen if I leave my job. Carrie, go for it.
Well, and Guillaume now has a question as well. So do you want my yes, no answer, or do you want to do intuitive art first?
I'd go for it because it'll take me a couple seconds to.
Right. So I was just telling Rachel last night, I was trying to do the yes, no method for myself. And I was so anxious about the getting the right answer. Like I couldn't even access my own intuition. And so I was actually playing with a pendulum, which I'd never done before. And that is what gave me my yes, no. So just heads up, that worked for me. Taking it from inside of my body to outside of my body was helpful. But I'm not going to lie, when I checked in for you, I got a neutral leaning yes. So it wasn't like a super duper strong hells to the yeah. But it was, so when I do yes, no, I just check in body. What does a yes feel like? What does a no feel like? And then I say, I already know what a yes feels like and what a no feels like. So then I just say, is it time for Corinne to leave her job?
Yeah. So here is what I got for you, Corinne. And to me, this is a pretty, I would say, neutral as well, because the colors I have are contentment, boundaries, and grounding. And you can see there's a big X in the middle, which usually means no. Sometimes it means like start here, which is actually, I would say it's both of them, because there is this grounded spiral in the middle, and that's where the X lands. And so I would say, find your contentment with your place in life right now, at the job, with yourself, with all the things you want to do, and find a way to just go deeper into that contentment, go deeper into your own focus, into your own boundaries. Like what do you want to feel like as a person? Try to find the moment, maybe do some meditation every day. Like focus on going inward in yourself and being content there. And then whatever would be beneficial for you will happen, because our insides create our outsides, right? So when you get right with your insides, then the opportunities will come to you. So you won't have to leave anything. You will be going into something new. So that's what this is suggesting.
Well, and that was the overwhelming feeling I got was not the word contentment, but it was safe. Mm-hmm. So like which they're not exactly the same, but it feels like you're safe. You can relax.
Yeah, and that's really powerful. Like having, there have been times when I have left a job like quickly and jumped into something new and, like gone off the adrenaline of that. But it's only when I had safety in other places, right? Like having a place where you can like sink into yourself and relax and it doesn't take all of you to just like survive, you can do a lot from there. So it's a really good place to be. And you're welcome. And we got a yawn.
Yeah, you got a yawn from me. Were you just about to clean your glasses, Rachel?
Yeah.
Okay, you go ahead and do that. And I'm going to look at the chat real fast. So if that is helpful for you guys and you've asked us a yes, no question, think about if there is a way you can phrase that question that is even like, that will give you even more details, like what Rachel just did for Corinne, right? Took from like, is it a yes or a no to like, what will happen if, or what's the most beneficial way to, or something like that. Guillaume, this is a perfect question. How can I make? Okay, I'm asking permission, but I'm gonna. Guillaume, the law of attraction is working for you super effectively all the time. The law of attraction is super duper uber effective and consistent and never stops working. So I know what you're really asking. How can I get more of what I want? Right? Because the law of attraction it doesn't work effectively sometimes and ineffectively other times. It's always working for you. That's it. You can't make it more effective because it's uber effective. So my guess is that you're actually asking a slightly different question. How can I have more of what I want? How can I be in better alignment with what I'm trying to call in? Yeah, I don't know. Rachel, do you want to make a guess at that question, or did we already answer it for you, Guillaume?
Well, I think because I know you, Guillaume, that I would know the answer, but I think it's really helpful to a lot of people what you're asking. So first I'm gonna guess and just say what I think could be helpful, right? Which goes for all of us, which goes for what Carrie and I were talking about before, in that we're always uncovering layers of resistance and judgment. Always, right? We're humans. We have that stuff. And that's the only thing that's ever in the way of what we want coming to us. Because as Abraham says, like our cork naturally floats. Our vibration is naturally high. We are just holding it down from judgments, resentment, other resistances, negative beliefs. So we are artificially dulling our vibration. And when we do connect with meditation, unconditional love, we loosen the junk up so that it can leave, it can dissolve. And then we go up a little bit higher. And then, lo and behold, new amazing, wonderful things come to us. So that's what I'm guessing is just there's still, I mean, you just kind of said it here, right? You left your job because there was nothing good about it. You haven't been there for a while. Why are you still talking about it? Right? What else is on the horizon for you? That's the place to focus. So, I mean, everyone can relate to that. I'm not picking on you. I probably think you are more incredible than you think you are, right? Like you are so kind and so wonderful and so creative and so good at this that I think starting to focus on that would be so beneficial for you. That self-love piece, like look at yourself in the mirror, say I love you, see what happens, right? Like that's the kind of foundational stuff that could help you out for sure.
If you guys don't know, Guillaume is one of the most incredible intuitive artists that I've met. I so always appreciate his intuitive art is always, I don't know, it's super clear. So you can trust yourself, Guillaume. You can trust yourself. You can trust yourself. And I will add to Rachel's list of things that are amazing about you. You are an exceptional listener. You listen with your the wholeness of who you are. And that is an incredible trait. Man, I haven't even busted out my art supplies because Rachel's just going to town. So I have them right here. I'll grab them for the next one, but I'll let Rachel. I see she's busy decoding.
Yeah, so here is your wonderful drawing, Gail. So we have a brown heart, which is like grounded love. So, like I was saying, do things that show yourself love, like looking in the mirror, saying I love you, doing your meditation, doing your intuitive art, but feeling love for yourself while you're doing it. And not just wondering, what am I doing wrong? Because that's the opposite direction you want to go, right? It's like, I'm going to stop for 30 minutes, for 10 minutes. I'm going to feel love for myself. That's what this is saying. And then on the inside is expression, which you're so good at. So keep doing that. Keep doing your joyful expression. And then on the bottom here is inspired action. So I know you have some amazing goals and you're always looking for those opportunities, and they will come when you focus more on how you can love yourself and feel that love and your expression. Those two will create the opportunities for your inspired action to move forward. So I hope that makes sense. Oh, good. He loves it. Great. Well, we love you, Guillaume.
Okay. That was a good one, Rachel. I'm just going back up. So Jane has a question about, should I send my son to Argentina now, even though neither of us is sure we are ready?
Do you want to take this one? Because this is really a yes, no.
Yawn. I'm already feeling the anxiety for Jane. So yeah, give me a sec. I will check in.
All right. So Carrie is checking in. And I will propose maybe another way to phrase it. Like, all right. Oh, is she done? Then I'll go
Well,
from
I was
there.
going to do some intuitive art on it as well, because I'm kind of nervous that you're all watching, and I need external validation to trust myself in that. So that's what I'm doing.
All right. So Jane, Carrie's got you covered. So I'm going to switch over to Yehudit. Judy, hello. What is the best way for me to continue the changes and grow? That is exactly what I love using intuitive art for, because it's about, like Carrie just said, validating yourself that you're already doing the right thing. So I'm going to draw on that. And for a moment, Carrie and I are both going to be drawing. So have a sip of water. Think about a question if you want to ask. Support someone in the chat. And we'll be right back momentarily. I wish I could put some really cute hold music on for a second, but I swear to God, it'll be less than a minute.
Yeah, well, it's super fast. Oh, Rachel, you go ahead. Okay, here's what came up for me, Jane, and I haven't even decoded my drawings. But when you first asked the question, I thought you already know the answer, because you said, even though neither of us are ready, which means you feel like a no, right? So so the question for me to you is actually more about, why aren't you trusting yourself? Right? So that is interesting. So let me just take 1 sec to decode this drawing, because I'll give you a preview. I like to do, my favorite way to do the drawings when we're stuck on, like, is this right? Or like, should I make this decision? Is, what does my life look like if it's a yes? And what does my life look like if it's a no? So that's what I just did. This is what your life looks like if it's a yes. And this is what your life looks like if it's a no. So just give me a second to write my color decoding on here, so then I can better explain it to you.
is this the ultimate tag team, Carrie? We're like doing 2 readings at once. We're going back and forth. This is so much fun. I had no idea. So Judy, here we go. And I was thinking while I was doing this with my eyes closed that your drawings are always so bold and they're so clear and they're so colorful. And here I have like all these jewel tones, which I feel like come up a lot in yours. So the colors I have here, first, inspired action. So continuing to take inspired action, it kind of makes like a ladder. Like each inspired action builds on itself. And I know it went down and then back up. So it might not even seem super linear while you're doing it. It might seem like they're just little actions that don't necessarily lead to anything bigger, but they do. And then I had this color here, but I'm going to read this first. So this teal color for me is like, it's creative alignment. I also call it like creative fulfillment. So creative alignment, you make the most heartfelt art, the most beautiful channeled art. And that's exactly what this is. So inspired action, creative alignment, and then the last color, this gold. So you're on your way to gold. You are creating gold. Just keep going on your inspired action and creative alignment journey. So hopefully that's validating to you.
Oh, I got it yawn out of me. When I think of Judy, I think of joy.
Me too. And color.
Yes. Okay. So this is back to Jane asking if she should send her son to Argentina, even though neither of us is ready. So what does Jane's life look like if she sends him? So this green color, it is actually like springtime newness. It's also a calm, knowing truth, which is surrounded in joy. So there's truth. I'm having a hardest time like keeping it where it needs to be. Truth, newness, and joy. Like those are kind of good things. And then on top of it is just a reminder to allow and trust guidance, right? Specifically angelic guidance, but any sort of divine guidance, like create room for that. So if you wind up sending your son to Argentina, right? Good news. Good news. If you wind up not sending your son to Argentina, so this is if you don't send him to Argentina. So this golden color is grounded joy. I don't know if you can see that. Actually, it's a reminder to ground your joy. So it can also be indicative of like blocking joy, not allowing joy. But I always like to turn it into just a reminder, ground yourself in joy. So that, getting a yawn. That is there you're drawing. And then the blue is surrender and healing, allowing. And the purple, I'm not going to lie, purple is my favorite color to see in a drawing because for me, it is wealth and confidence and luxury. And in this case, it feels very much like you connected to the truth of your self. So it is like this deep confidence. So purple for me, it's a regal color, it's a royalty color, and it is a reminder that we are all that, right? And so it often has like implications of wealth or up leveling, but here it just feels like a deep connection to the truth of you, 100%, like owning that you are a queen, girl, right? Like that is what I'm feeling. So look at that. There's no wrong choice, Jane. There's joy either way. So what I find is helpful is recognizing when I was describing those, which drawing felt more validating, which drawing felt more like, oh yeah, that please. That's it.
It's a reminder that we have choice.
And I always find it helpful. So I've done this so many times in my life, recognizing there's no wrong choice. And there's good in each of them, each of the drawings, right? But one of them just tends to feel more better. Just feels more better. It feels like more of what I want. And that's how you know. It's like if you've ever been where people give you the choice between two things and then say, okay, heads it's this, tails it's that. And then you flip and they don't even show you. They just say, which one were you hoping for? Right? Because when it was in the air, you knew what you wanted it to be. So that's what that is.
So good. Okay. I'm looking. I think the next one is Crazy Pup. Do my spirit guides, I will insert, have a message for me. When I do these live streams just on my channel, I often do spirit guide readings because it's super fun. So I'm just going to do that now for you. And you can do it with intuitive art, but I'll just connect. So what I'm seeing is like a big open space outside with like gray clouds, but like your spirit guides kind of like ushering you outside, like it's a great big world. Go get them, go get some fresh air, go outside. So I think you can take that literally and figuratively, that going outside, smelling the air, whatever you can do out there, whatever season it is near you, like go enjoy the nature that you have. But also, like, this is encouragement to have faith in the bigness of your dreams and to let yourself go there, to let yourself believe that anything is possible, because it is. So that is your message.
Oh, Rachel, I'm not sure if you scrolled down further to see, but Crazy Pup also said they've been feeling homesick on Earth for so long. They're so tired of it and they don't know how to cope with it. They don't want to die, but they don't feel as if they could feel like this any longer and feel confused and lost. And so that has like special meaning about the like go outside in the grayness, in the bigness. Like, oh, that.
I mean, I want to highlight this. I did not read that beforehand. You know, I think a big thing that can help starseeds who feel like this is to recognize that we are still where we were. We are just also here. We are choosing to be here, to bring our uniqueness here, to bring our own flair, to have our weird energy that we're pulling be grounded here, to have an impact here. So I think sometimes it's natural to feel like, oh, I'm so weird, I don't fit in here. You don't. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to be here as you anyway. And look to yourself for soothing and validation, and come to places like this where we get you and like tell you we want you to be here. Like we want you here. You want to be here or you wouldn't be here. You chose to be here. This isn't a punishment. There's some awesome stuff here. Like your guys are saying, like, look up. You can probably feel the connection showering down on you, your friends and family, wherever you are from, like loving you hardcore nonstop. And those of us who are here pulling energy from different places, like loving you from here at this angle. So I mean, Carrie is like nonstop yawning here, but I just want you to know, like, it's totally normal for you to feel like this, to feel confused and lost, but like put your feet down. This is where you are. You're not lost. You're not lost. You're here. You are right where you have chosen to be. And you get to exist here. You can exist here. All of you. You are here. You get to exist. However weird you think you are, we want you here. You're here for a reason. And not for a reason to change people's lives or like be of service. Like, no, you're just freaking here because your energy is having a positive impact on this place, regardless of how shitty you feel. So, rant over, but like, yeah, we get you. You are here. Anything you want to add?
So much. Yes. So one, it's so funny. I'm looking at your little picture icon and I am staring into those starry eyes, right? The lack of eyes in there. And like I used to, when I would meet with Rachel, feel like she could see into my soul. And something about staring into those starry eyes there, like I feel like I can see into your soul. And I yawned when I sorry. Oh, sorry, not sorry. And I don't know if this is a message from me or from your guides or from all of us because we're all connected. But like what keeps coming through with me is like, you are worthy. You can relax. You are enough. And I love that Rachel said, place your feet on the ground, really, like actually physically stomp and put them on the ground. Because Rachel, I remember when you weren't fully here, right? When you were going through this, and you weren't even expressing it as like painful necessarily. I didn't know you when you were in like the truly painful part of your life, but when you were in the like, I'm here, but I'm not here. Right. And I can tell you from watching Rachel, watching her plant those feet, like watching her like say, okay, I'm here. I am here now. Oh, what has come from that is so much expansion, so much joy, so much full expression, so much allowing. So, like, this isn't just like airy fairy advice. Like, I'm dead serious. If you have not yet stomped your feet, freaking stomp your feet. Plant them here on earth. Declare, I am here now. Like, I'm actually imagining like Gandalf with the like that. Declare yourself here now. And let us know what happens in your body.
So good. Thank you for pointing out that second message, Carrie. This was really, I mean, everyone has been like, yes, this was really helpful. Thank you, everybody. So love it. Okay, I'm scrolling back up. Ooh,
I know. I love it. We're only 15 minutes left. It's crazy.
I know we're not going to get to everybody, but obviously this format is a hit, and I frankly love it. We should do this at least once a month, Carrie.
I agree.
And besides the fact that I love our more conversational back and forth every once in a while, I think people love it all. Anyway, okay, Dale, you got a multi-parter. Let's see. How to feel the joy in the squirm, as Rachel describes. I wish to spend several, like 3 to 4 months, enjoying and exploring Spain, Italy, and the Caribbean. What's the most beneficial way for me to hear and perceive guidance? Okay, so let's talk about the squirm first. I don't know if this is universal or not, so Carrie, you can help me out here, but I consider my creative edge to have a little bit of a squirm sometimes. Like where I'm going into my expansion usually requires a little bit of easing into, because there's a little bit of hesitation, maybe a little like, can I really do that? Can I really pull that off? But it's overwhelmingly much more exciting than it is scary, right? You're wanting to do this thing, even though you're a little bit like a little funny in the belly. That's what I think of as the squirm. Does that resonate with you?
So I'm probably inherently more resistant than you. So I feel the squirm, but it would show up for me. Uh, it would it would first manifest as I want but, right? I want this, but I don't want that.
I just gotta say, Carrie's got to take over because I have to make a call because my cat's at the vet, so I gotta call them back.
Got it. Okay. We've been hoping that this call would come about Rachel's cat. So now it's just Rachel. Is it? There we go. Now it's just me. I get to stare into my own eyes. So Dale, I'm going to answer your second question first, and then I'll go back to the squirm. The second question says, I want to spend several, like 3 to 4 months enjoying and exploring Spain, Italy, and the Caribbean. What's the most beneficial way for me to hear guidance? And I heard loud and clear in your hammock. So I remember a call where you were laying so like relaxed and luxuriously in the hammock, and you were there just like listening to the breeze and allowing the sun to like land on your face. And so whether you are physically in your hammock or just in that space of no agenda, I think the place where we hear guidance most frequently is when we're not listening for it, when we're just relaxed, right? That's when all of our answers come. That's why we get inspiration on a drive or in the shower, or for me on a run. Like when you're in a place of not thinking of you're not thinking about stuff. Like with meditation, you're deliberately not thinking about stuff. Meditation is a super powerful practice. I freaking love it. Like I've been doing more and more of it. I know I'm expanding even as I'm talking about it, right? But sometimes when I have all right, guidance, I need an answer right now, and then I sit and meditate, that is when it is hardest for me to hear the answers. So just create more space in your life for hammock time, for just, it will feel so good to just relax and take a nap and be out in nature appreciating. So that is the answer to the second question. Feel the joy in the squirm. So I was just telling Rachel, like I tend to resist it hard. So my MO is less about squirm and more about like exhausting myself and then surrendering. So I'm like a toddler who needs a nap. That is how I handle the squirm, is like, I'm going to probably like have a tantrum and a little bit of a meltdown. And then I'm going to recognize, oh, I'm just tired. I need a nap. And so my squirm is a little less like nervousness and a little more tantrum. It feels like a tantrum on the inside. It doesn't look like one on the outside. It looks like a lot of resistance until I just relax and feel ready. I don't know if that, like, to where it's like I explained what happened over the weekend, right? Like choosing differently, recognizing, and there's a moment of surrender, and then all is well. And Rachel's drawing, so I think she's answering the second question. We'll see if she draws a hammock.
A hammock? Is that what you said?
While you were on the phone with the vet, that was the message that came through loud and clear for me, was in the hammock.
Oh yeah, that is good advice. Okay, so by the way, baby's doing well.
It is a hammock.
It is a hammock. It is a hammock. Yeah, that's funny. So we have thought. So this is, what is the best way for me to hear and perceive guidance, right? Because we all know we're being guided into where we want to be. How can we hear it? So this is thought. This is like, I think, merging that intention with our brain, right? Like we do process our senses through our whole system, through our brain. Like our mind works for us. So have your mind work for you. Be aware of your thoughts. Be aware of what's going on in your mind. And then underneath here, this jagged line there is alignment. So make sure your mind is aligned with your intentions of being guided. And then this is an interesting color. It's like gray and brown and green all mixed up. And that's creativity, intuition, and grounding. And for you, Dale, it makes a lot of sense because you are in this world. You are creative. You are a dancer. You are all of these things. You are creative, intuitive, and grounded. And so focus on that, right? This like oval is going over itself and over itself and over itself. And like when we're asking, okay, I want this thing, it feels like it's here. I feel like I'm here. How do I get to it? What is the answer always? Going in. Where am I? How do I feel right now? What does that desire feel like? Does it feel like, oh, of course I'm on my way? Like, duh, of course I'm on my way. Or does it feel like, oh, there's a really big chasm here. I don't know what to do, right? Well, the answer is always align. The answer is always, I'm a divine being. Everything that is in my life, I have created and allowed. So if I want something different, all I need to do is align to that. I need to treat myself like the person who's going on that trip now, right? Like I love myself enough to do that now. If there's anything that pops up in your head, that's in your head, that is a barrier to that. Like maybe, no, don't do this on purpose. This isn't about brainstorming and trying and figuring out. This is like, oh, well, what will I do with my job if I'm going to do that? Let an answer come to you now, right? Let the ideas come to you. Let the people, the resources, like if you align to who you are, every solution will start coming to you. And then it won't feel like such a big chasm because you'll feel like, oh yeah, like I'm walking my way along this to where I want to be. And I have had some in recent years, some very big, weird, like, I don't know how to do this dreams. And I have found that when I go into my part of it, which is this for you, the creative, intuitive part, the grounded part, when you go into your part and you focus on that, everything else arranges itself around you. So you do your part of living your life the best you can from where you are, and then all of the extra goody stuff comes to you. Yes.
Okay, the weirdest thing just happened. I swear I saw something in the chat from Jane, and then when I went looking for it, I couldn't find it. Oh, wait, here it is. Found it. Okay, you guys have been busy in the chat, but I wanted to answer it because it was really strong for me. So I feel called to just really follow my flow and inspiration and let all the plans, programs, systems I already have in place fall away. What's the best thing to do with this strong calling? Listen to it. That's the best thing to do. Trust yourself. That was it. If you have a strong calling, listen to it.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean they're going away forever. Like you are a fluid being, and the things that you've learned are probably helpful. Like we don't just end up in random places for no reason usually, we get something out of it. So I've had to do this a lot of times, and it's always in an effort to release resistance. So once you've released that resistance and you're like, okay, I'm giving it all up, it's all trash, like I don't want it anymore, then one day you wake up and be like, oh, actually that one part of it's going to fit in here, and this one part of it from over there is going to fit in here, and it's like no big deal anymore. You can use it your way instead of feeling like it's forced down your throat a certain way. That's what happens to me anyway.
Same. Like Rachel and I talk a lot about our industry and how it like used to be full of blueprints and templates. And the truth is like, it still is full of blueprints and templates, and how like we got to a point of like disgust with that. But really it was because we were trying to fit ourselves into something that we could there was no amount of following the blueprint that was going to help us do the internal work to be able to fill in the blanks. And so the right step for us at that time was not to look for another blueprint. It was to get internal clarity. And now that we have that, like, a lot of blueprints are super effective. They're super helpful. They're nice to have, right? So I hope that helps, hearing it that way.
Yeah, like Carrie and I created the aligned up level event from Elisa Sasevich blueprint. It was like 1 page. But what we got from doing that intuitively is that we didn't go through the program. We didn't listen to her talk for 3 days about it. We just had a sheet that had different time slots in it. And we're like, oh, this goes here and this goes there and that goes there and this goes here. And it was super easy and simple. So things can work for you. You don't work for a system, right?
Yes. Did you hear that? Because I'm not going to lie, like, I do work inside of other people's systems. And the biggest challenge that I have as a coach in that is helping my clients understand that they're not doing stuff for me, that I'm not their boss, right? Like, no, you're not doing this for me. You're not doing this for an A in the class. Like, you're doing this to create the life and business that you want. So yeah. Oh my God, it's 12:27.
I know, we're out of time and I'm out of pages. Like I told Carrie beforehand, I only have a couple pages left. So we're going to have to do this together. And it just naturally worked out perfectly. Who would have ever thought?
We would have thought. We know that. And yet we're surprised and delighted every single time. We're like,
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, I'm not actually surprised, but yay!
I just want to say we're getting so many wonderful like thank yous, and everyone in the chat's been so helpful to each other, and we love this. Like, this lights us up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for asking questions. Thank you for engaging with us. Like, this is our fun time. And also, if this is inspiring to you at all, if you like the intuitive art method, go check it out. Intuitiveart.com. We have a free class if you want to learn how to use it just for yourself. We have a certification if you want to learn to use this in a way that helps other people, and in very, very diverse ways, you know? So go check it out. It's all there. And
Rachel, I want to do a plug for this too. Daily Alignment Journal. If you don't have a copy of this, I always do it the wrong way. There you go. You can find it on Amazon if you just if you search Daily Alignment Journal and Rachel's name on Amazon. It like has a spot for you to do intuitive art daily. And I'm looking for a decent drawing to, like, why am I judging my drawings? But it has a spot for you to do intuitive art daily so that you can get clarity. Like, this is one just like day in my journal. So another great way to use intuitive art and dip your toe into the realm of intuitive art.
Yeah, it's a great journal. It's like me. It's kind of like clean and concise, but there's a whole introduction that'll like give you pointers on how to use it, which I think is helpful too. So yeah, that's it, everybody. We love you so much. We'll see you next week. And also, like, if you're feeling like I want to join Aligned Income, you feel like you missed out, registration is still open. I just never closed it. So you can go hop in. We haven't done class 2 yet, so it'll be easy to catch up. And we're really having a lot of fun in there. Like, so much fun.
It's even better than I expected.
Of
So
course. Of course. Yeah. So anyway, we'll see you next week. We love you guys, and thanks.
Bye, guys.